Hello lovelies, welcome to Narc Free Formula. My name's Freedom. Thank you for watching me. Today I wanted to talk about a question that got sent in by one of my viewers. And she was asking about, I'm just going to paraphrase it. So essentially she was asking about how is it that the narcissist can be like a toddler and yet, kind of create such, genius, evil plans. Now, before I start, can I just remind you, if you like my videos, please remember to like them, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification so you don't miss any upcoming episodes. All right, lovelies, let's get into this. So, I think there's a little bit of confusion. When we talk about narcissists being like toddlers, what we are actually referring to is their emotional IQ. Okay, so their emotional IQ, so their emotional intelligence, is essentially that of a toddler at times, or, a young child. They don't have high emotional intelligence. They don't know how to read people. They don't know how to react and respond correctly. It's almost slightly like autism, slightly. But when it comes to their genius plans, it's kind of like, when you watch soapies, here we go. So, when you watch soapies or novellas like Jane the Virgin on Netflix, or narco dramas like The Queen of the South, all the plot twists and turns, it's, and all the different storylines and things like that, it seems like to recreate that in real life, you think you'd have to be an evil genius. But the reality is, it's actually not at all. It's the complete opposite. The thing with the narcissist is that they can have 10 plans at any one given point in time. They have no loyalty to anyone or anything but themselves. They can, and with their 10 plans, their 10 different ways forward, their 10 different potential moves, all of that is totally dependent on a whole lot of other factors. So what I mean is, they're not like someone who has a goal and works towards that goal. They just don't have any loyalty to any future outcome. So they're not loyal to a person. They're not loyal to a future outcome. They kind of just live each day as it comes. They always take the path of least resistance. They're always looking for the most amount of fuel for the least amount of output. So if you can imagine like a graph, all right, I'm just going to do a graph like this. So if you imagine on the graph, there's, this is like your minimum amount of level of energy that it takes, so as it goes up, it's more energy expended on their behalf. And on the other part of the graph is reward. So little bit of reward, bigger reward as we go along this way. So the intersection is where it meets for them. So whatever is the least amount of effort and most reward in that exact point in time is where you will find them. It is where they will be and what they will be doing. So, for example, they might be, like I said, eyeing off a whole lot of different moves, but all moves are not created equally. So, I don't know, let's just imagine that they want to, I don't know, God, I don't even know. I can't even, what the funny thing is, as much as I know about narcissists, at times I find it really hard to even imagine how their brain works, like what they would actually even think. I can't even imagine, like I said, because their goals are just changing all the time. I can't even imagine what they would get up and think to themselves, right, today I'm going to XYZ. I'm going to XYZ unless 10 other things don't happen first. So they get easily drawn off their path. They get easily distracted, and they do not factor in new sources of supply. So, for example, they can be committed to a person, and they can be saying, I'm here for life, but they haven't factored in the new supply that they're going to meet tomorrow, who is going to totally, give them heaps of fuel, easy as, and that changes everything now, because that's just the way they are. Like I said, no loyalty to anything or anyone, and no loyalty to any set outcome. It's all about just getting fuel on a daily basis, getting through life. As I said, the intersection between the least amount of energy put out to the maximum amount of fuel gained. And that is where they'll be. So they're not these kind of grand geniuses. Sure, they have some wins along the way. Sure, they steal from us. Sure, they con us, manipulate and lie to us. And in their minds, that's perceived as a win. And in our minds, we're like, well, how did he even manage to do that? But the thing is, there is no logic, as I said, in the way they're thinking. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just, whatever happens on that particular day. And path of least resistance. So if something is easy for them to do, they'll do it. If it takes a little bit of effort, it's probably not worth it. Let me just quickly check. So from an outsider's perspective, when you're looking at, like I said, the Queen of the South, and if those of you who don't know what that is, it's a narco drama about the drug cartels in Mexico and their kind of inner warring and their desire for control and power and territory. Well, the narcissist is very similar in their behavior. They because they're so easily bored, even if you gave them everything they wanted, they would soon find a way, because of their boredom, they would find a way to manage to shake it up, change things around. And that, as I said, as an outsider, it might look as though, wow, they're this amazing dark genius. How could they have ever constructed that set of events to happen? But it's sheer fluke. It's absolute fluke. They don't have foresight. They don't even have really the benefit of hindsight. They start changing history through the way they verbalize it. So they tell lies about their history, their past, and that in their mind actually alters their history. So they don't even have the benefit of hindsight. So they're not geniuses. Any good stuff that happens to them is purely because they managed to rip off a good person. They managed to take advantage of a set of circumstances, or they managed to lie, con, and manipulate their way into a better set of circumstances and a better vantage point. That's the only kind of evil genius behavior that's going on. And as I said, and if it was easy, so for example, if they had a partner who just let them sign all the paperwork into their name, if they had a partner who didn't pay attention to the money or the accounts, who just trusted them, that's all super easy, right? That's great. That's super, super easy, maximum reward. So of course they're going to sign all of the property and all the money and all of that stuff into their name. Of course they're going to cut you out of everything. Of course they're going to do anything they can do. Like I said, maximum reward, minimum output. Whereas if you said, no, I demand a prenup and that we go to a solicitor and we do this and do that, well, then it's a different set of circumstances. They wouldn't fight so hard to get the outcome that they are wanting, because they wouldn't want to lose their supply source. So do you know what I'm saying with this? Like every single situation and circumstance that they come across, they have to look at it from a vantage point of where they are right now. They don't have the benefit of hindsight. They're not committed to any future outcome. They're not committed to you in the future of, being old, sitting in your rocking chairs on the balcony with the grandkids. They don't care about that stuff. They're not thinking about that stuff. They tell you that, future fake you, but they really don't care about that stuff. It's just about getting as much fuel as they can in the exact point in time. And if fuel comes in the way of having money in the bank, if fuel comes through, having stuff, stealing stuff, owning stuff, getting stuff put in their name, all of those things, it's all still fuel. Okay, so we need to wise up, everyone, when it comes to relationships. You know, women in particular, we really do need to wise up with these types of predators out there. Okay, any relationship that you go into, you have to be aware that there is the potential that, you know, you get involved with another narcissist. So don't be jumping into a relationship until you've got all of this stuff sorted out in your own head. All right, lovelies. Yeah, so just to recap, low emotional IQ. So like a toddler, you know, when it comes to actual emotions, feelings, regulating emotion, that kind of thing, like a toddler. But when it comes to the, you know, genius plans, it's luck. It's a set of circumstances that, you know, fell into their lap. I mean, seriously, there was times in my situationship where if he could have pressed a button and I would disappear for good and he would get, you know, everything would just be his, I'm sure he would have done it. You see, because I was that woman that kept everything in my name, because I knew there was something wrong. I knew, you know, and I was right, unfortunately. I was right. So, yeah, just heed my warning, darlings. Heed my warning. All right, lovelies. Thank you for watching. And just quickly, if anyone wants a one-on-one consult with me, the link will be in the description box. Or if you want to ask me any questions about anything, go to narcfreeformula@gmail.com. And what else? And also the link for my Narc Free Challenge is also in the description box. That is for people who want to get narc free for life. So that means not only dealing with the one that you've got right now, that you're dealing with now, or the one that you've just broken up with, but it's also looking at, you know, the bigger picture and how to make sure that this never happens to you again. You know, that old saying, you know, fool me once, shame on me, shame on you, but fool me twice, shame on me. Okay, now you know there are narcissists out there. There are some really fucked up people in this world, right? Let you not be a snack for one, okay? Check out my Narc Free Challenge. All right, lovelies. Thanks for watching.